Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to Most Mosaic with me, Sarah.
And me, Jenny. Hello.
Hi guys, hope you're doing well. So today we'll be doing a short, snappy podcast because quite frankly we're fed up of recording this crap. No joking, we love it.
So over it.
We've just had a busy few weeks and we've been all over the place. I went to a hen do party, like a tea party thing, and also took my brother to university, which was pretty exciting.
Woo-hoo.
So what about you? Anything new going on? What have you been up to?
Just getting used to sort of Canadian life, just driving and sort of practicing my driving. Applying for jobs, which is just the most soul-crushing thing you can do. But the good thing is that, so when I moved to Canada, when I was packing, I was like, forget about the summer clothes. Pack your jumpers, pack your coats and your scarves and your woolen socks. And I was like, okay, yeah, because it's Canada, right? And I'm here and literally it's like 30, 31, 32.
Bloody hell.
It's so bloody hot. I just can't take it. I know I'm going to regret saying this, but I kind of want it to be cold. I kind of want it to snow. Like, I'm ready.
Yeah, I love the winter, actually. I've changed completely.
This
34 is ridiculous.
It is.
That's like European
ridiculous.
heat wave.
And there's no air as well. It's just so humid. You literally step out of your house or, wherever you're inside. And just that heat wave hits you and you're like, I can't breathe. I need oxygen.
No, it's that bad.
It's horrendous. I really can't deal with it, man. Like,
I remember
feel
Dubai
like
being like that. Like Middle East and Asia, they're literally the worst. Like you step outside and you're sweating like a beast. It's just a joke.
Literally, you step out of the shower and you start sweating. It's like, I'm in Canada. This is not... No one prepared me for this.
That's abnormal. I think I told you before, when I thought of Canada, I thought of like a Fargo set. Just like snow, mountains, deers, like literally freezing cold, minus temperature.
Yeah.
Wow, it's shocking.
Yeah, it's
Make the most of it. Get a tan though.
Honey,
September.
I don't need a fucking tan. Have you met me? I do not need a fucking tan. I'm just like literally just like hiding in shades and like just running from indoors to indoors and not get any sun. Also, I'm allergic to the sun, so I get like rashes. Right. So I literally had to just bathe in sun cream, like in.
Wow, you're a proper little vampire. Bloody hell. Well, down here it's literally terrible. Like we've got rain, it's cold, and then some days it's like really, really sunny, so you just literally don't know how to dress. It's that season where you can literally go outside in a jumper and by the middle of the day you're having like an absolute meltdown because it's so hot.
Have all 4 seasons in a day.
Literally, that's what September's like. Roll on October and November, honestly. I'm actually
miss
done
London
with this.
So much though. Like I've just been watching like panel shows and whatnot and sort of like English shows and just binging on
really?
that. Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh, I used to do that. Bend It Like Beckham and Atonement were like my two I miss England movies. So random,
just,
so different.
Just all sorts of like, even like stuff that I've watched, like Luther or whatever, and which is not the most upbeat sort of portrayal of London, but just like I just need sort of that. I know it sounds really shit. Like people out here are so positive, and it's lovely that they are, but then it's like I kind of want people to be just grumpy. Do you know what I mean?
I think you're a Brit at heart, like in that sense where you're quite cynical and you have that dark side to you when you like being grumpy. It's such a British thing.
You just feel, it sounds horrible, but you just feel like kind of at home. I know that I complained about this when I lived in London. I was like, why can't people just fucking smile at you? Why is everyone in a moody, shitty But now it's like, well, I wouldn't mind someone just sneering at me for doing nothing, just being.
Oh my god! Really? Wow! You're gonna bring it upon yourself.
I'm exaggerating it a bit, but yeah, I do miss
totally understand.
the UK. massively.
Oh Wells, you're in Canada and it's better than London in a whole lot of ways, so make the most of it, enjoy it. Honestly, loads of people are jealous of you, so...
Yeah. So how's the hen do?
The hen do was like literally the most civilised and girly thing I've done in my life. So it was a group of like 10 of us and we went for afternoon tea. Have you ever done that before?
I've done afternoon tea. I went to university in the southwest, so I've done afternoon tea, but not on a hen do.
It was literally like a really new experience for me. So she went to Croatia for her proper hen do experience, and then for everyone else, she did like a tea party thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a new experience for me.
You've never
my
done
friend,
it?
No, never. My friend was like, "You're such a commoner. You've never actually been to a tea party." She's like quite rude all the time. She always picks on me. But yeah, I was like, no, never done it before, and yeah, it was really fun. Like it was quite nice. We had like champagne and tea and scones, and yeah, it was a fun experience. And then the next day I took my brother to uni, which was quite, I don't know, it was quite a weird experience, yeah, because it's like the baby of the family's gone. And you know what's funny, my brother was telling me how everyone is like collectively terrified and overwhelmed. Like one of the girls in his student halls went home on the second day just because she was so like she was so daunted by the whole experience. And it is quite a harrowing environment to get used to, you know.
It is, yeah.
At
Especially
first,
if you're like moving out of your hometown to go to university.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it eventually grows into a great experience, but the first few days are like horrendous.
Yeah, they can be quite overwhelming, especially like when you've lived in London and you move to anywhere else in the UK. I feel like it is a bit of a cultural shock because London is so different to most UK cities.
No, that's true.
So it's that aspect of just like feeling like an alien as well.
He'll
have a blast, man. Like oh my god, I miss university.
I know what I would do to get those days back, just to redo that all again.
Them days.
Oh god, we're such grannies.
Instead of going to university, we're now having hen do's and like all our friends are getting married and having babies.
I know.
It's mental, isn't it?
What the hell?
It's
yeah,
mental.
It is. Like I was telling you this as well. Like after the party, I was like, "What the hell?" They're all like approaching their 30s, and I literally felt like a baby. Like these girls have their love lives sorted.
Yeah.
They're like married. They're all talking about their wedding days. Like, "Oh my god, I hated my hair on my wedding," and can I recommend this makeup artist for you? Blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting there like, that's like in the far future for me. Yeah. Like I don't like me and my friend, because we were the youngest ones there, we were just talking about like just crass stuff like you don't even want to know, but we were like in a whole different dimension to them completely, which is funny, and I'm enjoying it for now. So life is definitely changing, and I was saying that to you as well. Like life is changing from like, you know, you get drunk and you get your tits out to like get a few woos and get a few guys a few free drinks to like getting drunk and then getting your tits out to feed your children, like to breastfeed your child. I love that one. And it's life's changing, man. And it's like it feels sudden sometimes. And you're like, whoa, I'm not ready for this. I want to be like go back to kindergarten. But hey, life's all about progress and moving forwards. So speaking of moving forwards, let's get the ball rolling. So we've come up with 10 different quick fire questions for each other. So we're aiming to answer them in like one word or like just in a sentence, but you know us, we'll probably just go off on a tangent or whatever. So
exactly. So this episode is just like a quick sort of fire round, just to have a few laughs and have a few giggles, because over the last few episodes we sort of discuss serious topics and we just want to be silly again. So this is the time for it. Yeah, so who's going to start? Do you want to start with your questions for me? Can do, yeah. Can do. All right, so number one, last thing you cried about. Go. Last thing I cried about. Okay, this is this is getting a bit emotional as well, because I just moved to Canada and my family's obviously still in Europe, so I was Skyping to my parents, and I might have shed a tear or two. Oh, who knows? Maybe I didn't. Yeah, it was And what kind of cry are you? Are you like the horrible, ugly face sobbing cry? Oh no! It was just like my dad didn't even realise. I was like sort of like turning my phone to the wall and to like other places so they couldn't see. But it was just like, oh my god, the connection's running out. Oh, I can't see, it's going He's blurry. Like, where are you? I can't see. I was like, hold on. I'm just doing this. Just give me a minute. I'm just like wiping away the tears. it wasn't even anything particular. It was just like seeing my dad and my mum and my nephew and just be like, oh, I'm not there, and you know, like silly little things. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, family. Oh, it's weird. As you get older, you get more emotional over family. Like I never used to care as much. Yeah.
Oh my god! Like for every flipping thing, I'm crying. It's like I didn't used to be like that.
Same.
Yeah. Because remember when I moved to the UK, I didn't remember crying at all. But
yeah,
for this
I remember
one,
you
when
barely ever
when
cry.
I moved to Canada, like literally every other day I was crying because I was saying goodbye to like various people over the course of the week. And it was just, oh my god, it was, yeah, I'm definitely
That's an
getting
intense
older.
emotional experience, yeah. It's true, it's weird, you just get softer as you get older. I've definitely been a lot more emotional over the last few like days and stuff. Even dropping my brother off at uni, I was like really emotional. It's crazy.
Was that the last time that you cried when you said goodbye to your brother?
I didn't cry. Like, I did tear up, but I didn't.
Bitch, you just...
No, I didn't cry. I didn't.
Alright,
like,
so yeah, whatever.
I got really emotional in myself, but I was like, okay, I don't feel like crying right now. But my mum was crying, and I was like, okay, I need to kind of keep it together for my mum.
Oh yeah,
I just didn't cry.
Oh no, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, next one. What's your funniest memory? So the one that cracks you up every time.
I don't know. I don't think any personal memories that make sense. If that's so, one of the memories that I have about us is that always cracks me up, which makes probably no sense to any outsider. So I don't know how you know how sensible it is to talk about it here on the podcast. Where we're literally talking to strangers. But do you remember when it was one of the first few days that we met, and we were sort of emailing because we worked at the same company. And the way we keep in contact is we just write emails to each other every 2 minutes, every half minute.
Yep, so productive.
And yep. And I remember this one. I don't even know how it came about, but I think it was something along the lines of I dropped a pen and I was gonna pick it up or something, and I was emailing. I was like, oh, I just dropped a pen. I'm gonna pick it up really seductively. So don't check me out. Do you remember that email?
Oh my god, no, don't.
That cracks me up every time. Although it's so silly, it doesn't make any sense. It's not particularly
I
funny.
don't even get what context that was
exactly.
in. Like...
But I remember, like after I emailed you that, you snigger. I could hear your snigger from behind, and I just cracked up.
Oh my god, it's so fun. I have loads of memories like that where I literally just sit and just laugh at them in public, like on the tube and stuff, and people just look at me like this weirdo. I've never seen anyone else do that, so I'm like, am I the only person that just laughs at memories?
I do that
okay,
too.
good.
Like being lost in memories. Like if someone asked me to explain myself, I couldn't. I would look like a lunatic because I make no sense. This is just like such an inside joke that probably no one in the world except me understands.
Yeah, it's weird. Some things tickle you, and like if you said to someone else, it'd be like, "What? That is just ridiculous."
Yeah, but like especially like laughing in public, like that's such a massive thing. Because I listen to podcasts a lot on my commute, or when I lived in London on my commute, and obviously I crack up. So there'd be like a silent tube, no one's speaking, no one's saying anything. Then I'd be there, sort of trying to sort of hold
Oh my god,
looking like an absolute muppet.
And your laugh is so loud. I remember when we used to work together, I was like, that's Janny laughing. I could hear her, like, even when you moved to, like, across the room, I could still hear you. Oh, God. You foghorn. So, next one. Last song that was stuck in your head. This better be a good one, because you're going to probably stick it in my head now.
It's not a particularly sophisticated one. It's do you know Monster? Kanye West's Monster?
Oh, yeah, of course I do.
It's that rap bit by Nicki Minaj, because I heard
Oh my god, do you know it? I literally rate anyone that can, like, rap it properly.
I can't rap it. I can't rap to save my life, but I just remember that sort of, listening to it, and just that
I
tune.
love that bit.
I'm just
She literally raps so well on that.
Yeah.
I went to a Kanye dedicated night, and I was like just in awe of everyone that knew the words to that rap. I was like, wow, you are so cool right now.
When you told me about that night, so Sarah was like, oh, I'm going to this Kanye dedicated night, and I thought literally that's all the explanation that I was given, and I thought literally this is a night of people like Kanye West fans coming together and just talking about him.
Oh, that is so sad. You know what? Loads of people were really baffled about it. Like, they were like, what's the concept? Like, they had different interpretations to it. A lot of people were like, is Kanye going to be there? What is it about? Like, are you guys just going to sing Kanye songs together? I was like, no, it's literally just like 3 hours of Kanye West music. And people were like, how can you even like deal with that? Just they were like, I can barely deal with one of Kanye's songs, let alone 3 hours of it.
I love
like,
Kanye West.
Yeah, it was a good experience. I enjoyed myself, so.
Yeah, he's one of those rappers where you like, he is an absolute eccentric little dick, right? But at the same time, it's like, I kind of forgive you for being having this massive ego. Because, I mean, you've done graduation, it's fine, you kind of deserve being a dick, it's okay, go ahead. He definitely has like special, but he's one of the artists that I would never go see live, because it's probably going to be like 1 hour of him ranting and going on about why he's like
I have actually seen him live.
Have you?
Yeah, I have. And I think that was right at the beginning of when he started his rant episode.
Okay.
Like most of it was good. It was 50% of it was actually him singing his songs, a lot of his old hits and stuff, and then 50% of it was him talking. And I just walked off at that point. But it was really, it was a good show. It was at a festival, so luckily I could walk off to another stage.
Oh,
but
that's fair enough. But if you pay like
Kanye, like he literally has so many layers to him. Like, I don't even know where to start. And he's put on so much weight recently.
Has he?
I read this meme, yeah. And, like, you know, 2 of the sisters are pregnant at the moment. So the caption said, oh, didn't know that Kanye was pregnant as well. Now we're going to have to keep up with the Kardashians for eternity. Because they're, like, spanning out. Found that quite funny. But, yeah, they're all pregnant right now, which is pretty
I thought it was just the one with the rapper that's pregnant. Who else is pregnant?
No, Chloe's pregnant as well. They announced it, like, last night. And Kim's having a surrogate baby.
Yeah, I knew about that one. Yes, go
on. My guy friend asked me to be his surrogate yesterday. Which is really weird. I know this is weird to break the news to you on the podcast, but yeah. I don't know if he was being serious, but we were basically talking about Kim, and then he was like, oh, if in like a few years, if I make loads of money, can I pay you to be my surrogate? And I was like, I don't know. That's such a massive question. Like, oh my God, how can you ask me that? Yeah, I don't know. If I was childless, I would consider it, but I don't know if I had kids of my own. I don't know how that would make them feel, and I don't know how I would feel like giving away a baby that I just gave birth to.
Exactly. I think that's like, I am all for surrogacy. I think it's a great system, you know, to help people who can't have kids on their own, you know, help them have that. But I don't know, because it's 9 months you're carrying that child with you. I'm sure you build up some sort of bond with that child.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So for you to sort of like after 9 months sort of be like, okay, here you go, you know, and I think also it's because he's one of your mates, so you will see that child over the time. So I don't know, might you get jealous? Like, if it's out of your life, it's like out of mind, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. But here it's like you literally see that kid.
That's true. I didn't think of that at all.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just slyly saying he wants me to have his baby. He's like trying to ease it in. Maybe no. I think as a maternal person, you'd find it immensely hard to do.
Yeah, even if someone even for me, who's not, I don't consider myself crazy maternal, but even for me, I'm like, whoa, that is, I don't know.
It's a crazy concept.
Yeah.
Number 4, what is the best thing in your life right now?
You and the podcast is...
Yay! I made it on the list!
That's either testament to our friendship, or that's testament to the fact that I'm a really, really sad and pathetic person.
No, that's lovely. Friendship is amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I honestly say is you, the podcast. Obviously, it's family and friends and blah blah blah. But having you and the podcast
so
in the life,
sweet. I'm so flattered.
Yeah. And maybe having moved here, knowing, you know, you've got new chances, you've got the chance to sort of redefine yourself and just start a new beginning. That's quite nice. But I think that
that's an exhilarating
that
thing.
on its own would be a bit too harrowing, because it would be too much newness. So having this podcast and like being able to just like, you know, get in touch with you and just reconnect and just chat about everything and nothing on this podcast, that gives me that sense of familiarity, and it puts me at ease.
No, God knows the podcast saved me from like some really horrible low times, like you and the podcast definitely.
Yeah.
And well done for tolerating me for like 2-3 years. Well done, honestly.
I think we're both crazy.
Not that many people make it, but you have.
Ditto, man, ditto. Right back at you.
Okay, number 5. What's the worst news you had to give to someone?
I'm not really. I don't think I've ever had to give anyone bad news. I've never been sort of the bearer of bad news. I've never been put in a position where I had to tell someone that, anything bad.
Never.
Never, no. But even
I guess that's more for like older people, like if you're in a managerial position or if you're a mother or a grandma. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, or like
that's
a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. Yeah. Also, I think I just hate confrontation, that even if I had to give bad news to someone, I would delegate that work.
Yeah.
I would tell someone to do that for me.
Or sweeten it up, like, you're wonderful, you're amazing, but you're going to die in 2 days.
You've had such
on
an
the plus
amazing
side,
life.
you
I'm
look
so
great.
jealous. You've achieved so many things.
Yeah.
Pity that's where it's going to end, darling.
Oh, God. It's called a shit sandwich, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, negging
God,
you to death.
be great at that.
Or negging you to any bad news.
So no news at all? Nothing
No.
to report on with this
What
one?
would that be? What have you ever done anything?
No, I don't think I have. Maybe just like letting guys down, so like saying to them, "Look, I don't have feelings for you." That's like, that's kind of shitty. But I mean,
But I've never
other
put
than
it
that,
that way. I've always just like, it was always mutual, and you just sort of let it peter it out, and they kind of get the message, right? Like, mostly it's well, yeah, okay.
Well,
I
maybe
retract
once.
that. I retract that statement.
Okay, number 6. Best way to tell someone their breath smells.
Again, going back to the fact that I hate confrontation.
If it was me, how would you tell me? I hope to.
Well,
I'd like
if
to
it's
think
you,
would tell me.
if it's you, I'd just tell you straight out. I'd be like, Sarah, have you brushed your teeth today?
Really? No, you wouldn't. Would you actually?
If it's you, I would probably, if it's you, I'd probably be like, well, we're in a
Bitch, your
rush
breath
this morning.
smells.
Well, we're in a bit
Oh
of a
my
rush.
God.
I wouldn't be straight out and flat. I'd be like, you stink. I'd probably be like, do you have a busy morning? Do you want, like... Yeah, I guess I just, like, sort of talk about it, like, be around the bush and be kind of subtle about it and be like,
I don't
do you
think I
want
could
a
tell
mint?
anyone.
Do you want...
I don't think I could tell the person. I just wouldn't. The only person I've ever told is family. But other than that, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
But you can sort of go about it by, like, sort of going, oh, do you want a mint? Do you want a chewing gum?
That's true. But then I always think, you know what, it's a one-off, and I don't want to make them paranoid just based on that one occasion. Do you know what I mean? Because some people might kind of be like, oh crap, does my breath always smell? And then it just, it just escalates into paranoia, and then they're like, oh my God, they can't talk without thinking about their breath.
You're adding like a whole new layer to this.
I know. The thing is, I always give people chances. I'm like, okay, this might be a one-off. If it's a one-off, just let it go.
If it's a one-off, I'll let it go. But if it's like a reoccurring thing, I probably talk about like a hypothetical person that I know and be like, oh, I'm just reading this article, or maybe, something like that. I'm just reading this article about bad breath, and, I struggle with it sometimes. So maybe, like, do something like that.
Oh, God.
I have no idea.
Gross.
Hope to God that never happens to me, and I'm never put in that position.
I knew someone who had a really, really bad breath, but I didn't say anything to them because it was just too sensitive. I just couldn't do it.
That said, I knew someone at work who had, like, really bad BO. We know. We
Please
both
tell.
know.
I was going to mention it, actually.
And
I thought,
it was, we never told that person.
How did you deal with that?
Yeah,
exactly. It's hard. It's hard.
Ignored it. Do you know what one did? I thought that was really horrible. Like, I probably would have been nice to just come straight out and be like, oh, you know what? You might get your. What she did is she sprayed like air freshener
in his direction, in that direction. Oh God!
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. in that direction, and it was...
Did the person realise?
I don't know, but they must have, because she did it so frequently, and she put up her sweater in front of her nose and like hid behind it. It was like, you're kind of being very, very clear about this, so why not just... You could literally just straight out tell them, like, you're not that far from it.
Maybe he's just, probably just a lazy git, can't be bothered to wash, and
Also,
isn't really around,
no,
is quite
but-
isolated, doesn't have a social life, so he's like, fuck it, like...
What this person did, and a lot of people in London do this, this person used to cycle to work.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Right.
So, you know, obviously you sweat a lot, and then you just sort of, you know, rather than taking advantage of the shower downstairs, that person just sat down,
Sweltered in that
went on with,
shit.
you know, continued the day.
I mean, yeah, sometimes when it's health issues, because people, when they have, like, cavities or whatever, their breaths do smell, so I don't really...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so in that case, I'm like, oh God. But then I'm like, maybe it's good to point it out so they know that there's like a health issue going
They
on
need
there.
to,
But can you smell your own breath normally? I think, yeah, you can, right? I mean, I can taste when my breath is like particularly like...
Yeah, I know, you have that sort of like, that coppery sort of,
Yeah.
You do.
I was listening to a podcast actually, and this guy was like, oh, my kid, I was like putting my kid to sleep, and I think he'd had like a really, like a strong meal with like loads of onions or whatever. And the kid was like, Daddy, your voice smells. Which I thought was so adorable, but like such an... I don't know, it's actually a pretty decent way to tell someone that their breath smells. Like, your voice smells.
Well, you can get away with that if you're 5. If you're 25,
Yeah, true.
I don't think you can get away with that.
And with 2 black
But
eyes.
it's also, but that's why they say that kids can be cruel, right? Because they don't have that filter of what to say and what's appropriate to say.
Yeah.
And what's not. It is good sometimes, but then, you know, sometimes it can hurt you because you just don't...
I remember when I was a kid, I was literally like, I don't understand why people aren't honest to each other. Like, you think things are so black and white when you're a kid. You're like, literally, why don't people just tell each other how it is? And when you grow up, it's like, it's really not that simple. You should make it simple.
I had that. I was stuck in that kind of thought for a very long while. I used to think like that until I was like 14, 15. Until my parents had to sort of pull me aside and be like, okay, you need to like watch what you're saying. Because I used to be quite rude. Cause
really?
When you get to a certain age, it changed from being endearing to just being rude.
No, that's true. It's that age always between kind of like 11 to 13.
Yeah, like, I guess so. It's sort of when you become like a bit of like a proper human, like a functioning human being.
Proper human.
That was delayed for me. I'm still not there, but yeah.
All right, next one. What would be the best thing about dating a blind person?
Oh, simple. Not having to, you know, get ready every day and like look nice. And like,
yeah,
you know,
but you'd
put
have
on
to
makeup.
smell good. You'd have to smell good. No smelly breath.
Oh, because like
that's
the
literally
other
the only thing they
senses
have
are
to
so
go off.
heightened. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, lotion yourself. Have like be nice to touch and like be nice to smell, but you don't have to be, you know, nice to look at.
I was talking to my friend about this, and he was like, you can really like play around with textures and stuff, so you can have like a furry bra and underwear and like I don't know, like velvet socks, and like you could do your hair really nice so they can feel it and stuff. Sounds like a lot of effort. I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, to give him, you know, stimulation through his other senses.
Or would you rather someone who is mute?
No. Definitely someone who can't see. Because I need someone to talk to.
That's true. Communication is so important.
Yeah,
like,
no.
couples can't do that. Like,
I mean,
with their
obviously,
voices.
you know, there's sign language, and that's amazing. But it's
not
not quite the same. I think
they could write you love letters.
Yeah,
nah.
but I'm not that romantic. I think I just find that really cheesy and a bit cringy.
And horrible.
If
All right,
someone
next
did that.
one then. Thing you love and hate the most about being Sri Lankan?
I mean, it's a complicated relationship, and I don't think I sort of came to terms and sort of came to embrace it until somewhat recently. But I mean, I love being Tamil, but I love sort of my culture and my language and my background and sort of the richness that comes with it. But at the same time, I'm not... Me being Tamil means that I'm also not Indian Tamil, and I don't want to be Indian Tamil either. Like, I don't want to be an Indian. But being from Sri Lanka, like having that knowledge that your own home country or that your mother country doesn't acknowledge you and your people, that is a bit,
That's a
that is
bitch.
something, that you have to deal with and you sort of have to come to terms with. It sometimes comes in the way of like feeling proud of who you are when you know that your own country doesn't feel proud of you or even accept you as one of its own. So yeah, it's sort of like that very, I don't know, complicated, contrasting relationship that you have, and I'm still coming to terms with it, to be honest. Like there are days where I'm like,
Oh,
I wish
really?
I could be from a country where it's just so easy to say, you know what, I'm XYZ. And that
Really?
country
So you
has my
still
back.
have those thoughts? You still have those conflicting...
Yeah, because like while I
feelings.
can say that I'm proud to be Tamil, I don't think I can 100% say I'm proud to be Sri Lankan. I just don't feel that yet.
Oh, that's interesting.
How about you?
Oh god, we could literally be here forever. I literally have a love and hate relationship
Same
with like
there.
being from two different cultures. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I love it, and sometimes I'm like, fucking hell, I just want to be from one country. Like this is
Really?
just fucking annoying. Yeah, especially going to Sudan highlighted that more for me, because whenever I go to Italy or Sudan, it highlights it more, because I'm like, okay, I don't feel really at home here, I don't feel really
Yeah.
at home there. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, it was a lot more simple.
Yeah.
But now that I've grown up, I'm like, I just don't really feel like either of these places are home for me. But that's another topic altogether. God, we should do
Yeah.
a podcast on that. 'cause
No, we should. But
got a
yeah, no,
lot to
I
say on
completely
it.
know what you're saying as well. You don't really feel at home 100% in the UK, but then you don't feel 100% at home in for you Sudan / Italy, and for me Sri
Yeah.
Lanka, because you always sort of feel alien. But I think like
Yeah, what's it called? Like the imposter syndrome? or
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
Yeah. But I think
Yeah.
over the years I've sort of come to terms with that part, just because I know a lot of Sri Lankan Tamils living in the diaspora that are literally
Yeah.
in the same position
Always
as me.
helps.
So it's like we've created a home away from home where we're home and where we confident
Yeah.
with who we are. But yeah, I mean it's a difficult relationship, that one.
All right. So, would you rather be pregnant with quadruplets for 6 months or pregnant with one child for 1 year? This is so stupid.
Your
but
questions
yeah.
are literally all over the place. I'm loving this.
I know. I was like literally
Amazing.
running out of ideas.
No, I love that question. But definitely one baby with a year. I'd take a baby with 2 years rather than 6.
With 6 babies
Because
for a shorter period.
Because the thing is, you have to push them out, which arguably
Jesus.
is exactly like your fanny will
6
be
times.
ripped, like literally. And I don't mean in the abs ripped. I mean like it will be shredded.
Oh my
Um,
god, yeah, it will. I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, no
God.
way. Like an aunt of mine, she's pregnant with twins right now. And she's like in her 5th month, and she can hardly walk. Like she literally walks like she's like a watermelon is about to like
Oh yeah,
pop
you
out of her
told me. That
the
scares
JJ. And
me.
it's like, oh my god. Just like you have 4 months to go, you can hardly like you're not comfortable in your skin now. You have 4 more months to go, and then you have to push those little buggers out.
And I didn't know also that if you're pregnant, you shouldn't sleep on your left side because of an artery that's there.
Really?
You don't want to
What?
like block it from going to the child. I swear, like when I'm pregnant, I'm going to be the most paranoid
So
person
paranoid.
on earth.
That is going
Yeah,
to be
'cause
9
it's
months
like-
without any sleep, because I'd be so scared. That
Yeah.
I'd, just roll
That's
over.
crazy. It's like you're in constant pain, you can barely move, and then on
Yeah.
top of that, you need to worry about sleeping on your left side. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
because
Oh my
I'm one of
God.
those people. I move around a lot when I sleep. Like my dad, he literally sleeps like a dead corpse. Like,
Really?
Literally, like with hands across
Oh
above
my
his chest, and it's like, what
Wow.
the fuck? I am not. I literally I punch people in my sleep, and I kick, and I just like.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I wonder what that's about. Maybe like good self-control and just,
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it's like inner struggle and anxiety that sort of translates into really restless.
Lastly, what do you predict will happen in your life in the next 5 years? And we can come back to this in 5 years' time to see if you've lived up to everything.
Hopefully I'll be doing this in 5 years as well.
Yeah,
Or,
but on a bigger
something along
platform.
those lines. But on a big platform, I hope to sort of, I don't know, nothing too extravagant. I just hope to have sort of like a career that I like in broadcasting, have someone by my side that sort of, that loves me and that I love, and
Oh, is that something
definitely
for you that
next
you want
5
for the next 5
years,
years?
I'll be like in my mid-30s. If it were up to me, if it were up to my mum, it would be like this year I'd be married and have
married
children.
tomorrow.
Yeah. But no, I'm definitely getting to that point where I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to like be in a proper serious relationship, definitely. No doubt about it. So next 5 years, I hope to fuck that will have been sorted out, as well as my career.
It will.
Yeah, I just hope that, you know, I'm happy and that I'm healthy, and the same goes for sort of my loved ones. What about you?
Sweet. I want this podcast to blow up. I want it to be amazing. And I want it to be like the #1 podcast in the UK.
Out there, yeah.
And then other than that, on a personal level, yeah, definitely, I have high hopes for it. Other than that, yeah, just basically family. I want to start a family, and that's pretty much it. And just
proper kids and stuff.
Yeah, I want like my first kid in the next 5 years.
What the fuck? That's
I
crazy.
know.
I can't imagine
My
you
friend,
with a kid.
Really?
Like,
my friend was like,
because obviously, like, we're so silly, like, imagining you having like another human being to take. I know you'd be a good mother, but just still, like, wow. You know.
I feel ready. I actually feel ready. Obviously, I need the man first. That's the first part that needs to be taken care of.
Is that something that you have to wait for? Like, you wouldn't consider like being, I don't know, going to like the sperm bank and be like,
no, I wouldn't do that. I want the love story. Like, I want the man and the kid, and I want to have a kid with someone that I love and someone that cares for me and cares for the kid. But I was talking to my friend about it, and she was like, we need to have kids at the same time, because do you know how boring it's going to be when you go to like those mother and kids meetings and they're all like really, really boring, because her friend just had a kid and she's like 24. She went to one of these meetings and my friend was like, so did you have a good time? Were they like fun mums? And she was like, no, they were literally as dry as my foot. Like really boring women. So yeah, and she probably obviously feels that she's missing out with her friends now because she's like the only one with a kid. But yeah, okay.
Alright, time for me and my questions. Alright, number one. I think mine is much more sillier than yours, so be prepared for just idioticness rather than any deep philosophical existential questions. First one. What's your favourite curse word?
I don't have a favourite.
Oh, fuck off. You definitely curse.
Curse word. You're so American now. Your favourite curse word.
I said curse word. I did not say curse word.
Curse word instead of swear word. No, I don't have a favourite one, but I say effing a lot. Sorry, Mum.
What, you mean fucking or effing?
No, fucking.
Yeah.
Like I say, or motherfucker.
Yeah.
Fucking. Like they're my two favourite ones. Like if I had to choose. What about you?
Same here. I think fuck and like anything, you know, fucking, motherfucker, all these words, they just give you like a certain something, like a je ne sais quoi, like it just drives the point home.
God, I love it when Spanish people swear. I'm watching Narcos at the moment, and when they're like puta, cabrón, da 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 da, I'm like, oh my God, that is so hot. Like, take out all the other text, but when they swear, I'm like, oh my God, you are so hot right now. Like, honestly.
Oh my God.
Something about Spanish swearing, it's just so hot.
What is that? Are you a masochist or a sadist? What does that mean?
What? It doesn't make me either.
When you like to be abused.
Sworn at. I think it's the latter. Yeah. God, weirdo.
I'm also embracing like proper English, like English phrases that I didn't used to use before, like stuff like get in the bin. Like, it's such an English thing. But it's like over here, I'm just gonna embrace my Englishness because I know I can, like, whenever I talk to an English person, like, when I would talk to a Canadian person, oh, I love your accent. Oh, what kind of accent is that? I love it. So I'm really going to take advantage of that.
You should.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? When you go to another country, like, you take for granted small phrases, but when you're out there, people are like, what does you're having a laugh mean? And you're like, it's such a simple phrase. How can you not know that? But there are so many words and phrases that you literally, like, people are so bewildered by.
I know.
Like, where did that come from?
Where I was, and I was like, oh, could you tell me where the loo is? And she was like,
yeah,
what?
that's
and I was
another
like,
one.
This is not a question that I want to repeat very loudly, man.
Yeah, the loo. That's one that always gets them. They're like, what the hell is that?
Okay, next one. What do you think, according to you, is an overrated virtue?
Ooh, maybe being, you know, like extra, like extra hard working at work, and like extra kind of
Yeah, putting on
like
overtime
diligent and like
yeah.
and I hate, you know what I hate, people being martyrs at work, and British people absolutely love that. Like if you're literally on your last leg and you're dying, but you come into work and you come in when you're
I know
ill,
what you
and
mean.
that's
yeah.
literally like the work martyr, and it's like, why are you doing that?
And it's
no.
I don't get the idea that people over here are like that. Yet you, like, I know people over here being Canada, they're like, oh, I'm just going to pull a sick day, I just feel a bit sniffy, and it's like, what? But
Really?
you can totally go to work like you're just a bit sniffy. Like, it's that sort of actually of like, just put yourself first.
I like that. I like
which
that.
Britons
I'm that kind
don't
of person.
always have. Like, yeah. Whereas here, I think the focus is sort of just being happy and just having like a good work environment and just sort of having a laugh together.
Yeah, because fuck it, we're only here for a short period. Like,
yeah, and it's only fucking work. Like, get over it. You know.
Exactly, whatever. Yeah, because I read in an article somewhere that a lot of Brits don't actually take their lunch at all, and they miss out on loads of money, like, because they literally don't take that hour break. So they're missing out on like grands of their salary because they're literally just working through their lunch.
And I've done that in the past as well. You know, I'm guilty of just like, well, having like, you know, running to Tesco's, getting like a pita bread and hummus and just doing that while finishing, you know, work.
Yeah.
Which is...
Well, that's you on your own. I literally always take my lunch. I can literally like have so much work to do. I'm like, nope, I'm literally having my lunch. I'm stopping for like 15 minutes at least. Yeah, I have really bad work ethic. Well,
no, I think that's
for like
great.
British standards.
I think that's great to sort of put yourself first and just focus on you and just being like in a good mindset and just being healthy.
The deadline can wait, to be fair. Like, no one's gonna die. Anyways.
Alright, next one. Name one celebrity or historical person, dead or alive, or maybe even just a fictional person that you would like to swap days with, like one day with.
I have so many people I could put on this list.
Really?
So many. Yeah. I would say Liberace was one of them.
Really? That it's very...
Yeah, I'd love to be like an extravagant gay man with like a great talent, like even
very
Elton John.
flamboyant.
Just like living in the 70s or 80s and
Yeah.
just having that amazing like glamorous Hollywood lifestyle. Just for a day, I'd like to see what it's like for everyone to want you, and, you know, just a
Have
life
pieces
full
of
of
you.
constant highs.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. And
Yeah.
then let me think of a fictional character, because I've definitely read a book and I've been like, oh god, I want to be them. Actually, most of the books I read are tragedies and crime thrillers. Maybe a character in Roald Dahl's book. Like,
oh, yeah, I get that.
let me think of a character. Yeah, just like one of the weird ones, like one
Yeah.
of the really creepy ones, just to see what's going on in their minds and
Yeah.
like what makes them like into cannibals and sexual deviants and whatever. That would be interesting.
Oh, you mean like a dark one rather than
Yeah, like a
just
villain.
funny weird one. But yeah, no, I have the same thing where I'm sort of attracted to darkness. Because if I could, like, there's same here, there was so many people, but I quite like to be Sherlock Holmes. Just like that Victorian England where, you know, there's a lot of mystery and mystique and, you know, there's murder. But you're not on the suffering side, you're sort of the clever one. That definitely attracts me, like that dark London, you know, London during the dark times.
Yeah, I'd like to see it for a few hours.
Yeah.
Probably be really filthy and just...
Yeah, it's just for a day.
Yeah.
Come home, take a shower.
Probably
in
with
it, but-
syphilis.
Yeah, oh.
Okay.
Get all them
Christ.
shots before you time travel, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so next one. What's one thing most people get wrong about you when they first meet you?
Oh god, this is something you thought about me as well, that I'm really stuck up and not that friendly, and yeah, and
It's true.
it's so far from the truth though, because
It is so far from the truth.
I think I'm quite a nice person. I mean, if you're my friend, then I will literally do anything for you. That's the
Yeah.
kind of person I am.
Yeah.
But obviously, at first, a lot of people feel that I'm like a bitch that
Yeah.
just stuck up and doesn't want to talk to you. But that's not the case
Yeah,
at all.
because you have like the resting bitch face, and
Bitch
you know,
face, I do.
Because you are also quite pretty, and like you have like very prominent features. Like you've got like a short,
Aw.
sharp jawline.
Sharp
it's like-
jawline, sharp nose, sharp eyebrows.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yes.
fuck. You literally look like the witch from Maleficent. I know. you're pretty, but you wouldn't
Look
be too
evil.
far off from, being cast as a witch. So I was literally like, oh, this is not a good addition to the team. I don't see this going anywhere positive. No.
Oh.
And then I met you and I was like, wow, like, hell,
So far from the truth.
don't judge a book by its cover, eh? But yeah, there
No,
you go.
I'm
Yeah.
breaking all the stereotypes out here.
Next one. What have you long believed to be true, but then, lately realised that wasn't?
So many things. I know you want me to say like horoscopes, right? Or like psychic readings, but so far it hasn't proved to be bullshit so far. You know me with my weird mystic shit. But I would say something to do with childhood logic. So I used to have
Santa
this
Claus.
idea. No. I used to have this I used to believe in fairies for a long time.
Yeah, you told me, I know that about
was
you.
crazy into them. And I used to have this idea that if you visualize the worst kind of scenario, it just would cancel it out, so it would never happen. So for example, if you were like going into a really nerve-wracking situation and you were like, oh god, I really hope that I hope I don't bump into the guy that I really fancy or whatever, and you just think about it loads, and then it
won't
just
happen.
it just won't happen.
Really? That is so odd, because isn't it usually that, thinking makes it so? Or, wishing makes
No.
it so, but for you it's sort of the reverse.
Yeah, you kind of like push it away with like magnetic mental powers. I don't know, it's weird. It's something I used to think as a child.
Oh, this is amazing. Oh, I'm loving this. For me, it's sort of a very, kind of getting deep again, it's the realization that your parents, I read this somewhere, and that sort of changed the way I look at my parents, that your parents aren't born parents. They're doing this for the first time as well, like they're learning.
Oh right, yeah, that's true. That's something serious that I could have added to my answer.
Because it's very easy to sort of be like, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you say that to me? Why would you you knew that this is how I was going to react and how this is going to affect me, but they didn't. They're doing this, literally doing this for the first time. That it's trial and error for them as well.
Exactly.
That's
That's
something.
true. That we have spoken about this before.
Yeah.
That is like a very serious realization that your
Yeah.
parents, they're not going to be perfect. They never
Yeah.
are, and you're going to make mistakes that they haven't, and vice versa. Like it's just,
Exactly.
it's inevitable. You're never
Yeah.
going to get the perfect parents, and just be easy on them, kind of thing.
Exactly.
But
That's to all the annoying, bitchy teenagers out there. Just cut them some
Shut your
slacks,
traps.
man. Something you wish you were better at.
Looking naturally happy.
Looking naturally happy or being naturally happy?
I think I'm kind of getting better at feeling happy, but looking naturally happy, just because some people are great at that. They've really mastered it. Like they can be the biggest bitches, but they can look just so smiley and lovely.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like horrible on the outside but nice on the inside.
But I don't trust people that are smiley all the time, because
Really?
you can't. And this is just being me being so English and so negative. But the world is so shit. You're probably stuck in a job that you really hate. Why the fuck are you smiling all the time? Like, what demons and skeletons are you hiding?
I like that though, because it's like you can just, no one needs to know that. Like as far as everyone else is concerned, you're this happy person. Obviously, like people like us don't think that because we know the deal. But like other people are like, yeah, they're always happy and they're always nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, that is pretty dangerous because. Yeah, I know a few people that are like that. They're like demonic within, and then it just comes out, and it's like, bitch, why don't you just balance out the evilness?
So, I mean, having moved here, like there are a lot of maybe even false assumptions that people have about Britain, and vice versa. There are false assumptions in Britain about Canada or sort of the North Americas. What do you think is sort of the most prominent one that pops to mind?
Oh god, that we all drink tea and we're all intelligent and well spoken. That must be like
Well, we do. Do you
most
drink a
common
lot of tea?
one.
You don't drink a lot of tea. You're not that massive.
no.
a tea
I
drinker, actually.
drink tea every morning, but not during the day. No.
Yeah. But hey, we're both intelligent and we both know what we're talking about. So that's 2 on 3, and I do drink a lot of tea.
Compared to a lot of Americans, we probably are a bit smarter than them. I like to think, anyways.
Yeah.
But I a lot of people, like when I do travel, people are like, "Oh my god, you guys have like apparently Brits have like really awful teeth because they smoke and drink a lot." and
bullshit.
We sound really intelligent and we enunciate everything, so we sound like we're super smart. But hey,
it's funny because at university, we had quite a few sort of North Americans, US Americans and Canadians, and they would say that about us, that whatever we say, we could say literally anything and just don't know what we're saying, but we just sound so smart and so authoritative. But then there are a lot of people that, and I was one amongst them, that when Americans speak, it's sort of, they don't sound necessarily smarter, but they sound more powerful.
Americans?
Yeah, I always felt...
Oh, that's interesting.
I felt like that. Because when you think of sort of authority figures, especially at the age when I got like really heavy into politics, that was sort of, for me, that was the time of Barack Obama. So when I thought of like one of the... I mean, obviously he had his faults, and I'm not going to deny that, but he was one of the better leaders that we've seen. So for me, being a good leader, I did sort of subconsciously associate that with America.
That's interesting. I think it depends what kind of stuff you ingest, because for me, I've always mainly stuck to like British TV, British politics, the Kardashians as well. So I'm like, God, Americans are such thickos. For me, I don't see the power, like I don't get that feeling when I hear like American voices. But with British voices are more kind of intimidating, like with received pronunciation and stuff. If I was talking, people say as well, like Northern accents and American accents make people feel more at ease. So when they have, people working in what are they called? Call centres. They normally hire people who are Northerners or from Essex because it makes people feel more at ease. Like accents they're a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it kind of, it breaks the barrier. It makes you appear more friendly, and it can make a whole lot of a difference in social circles and situations.
Yeah. So if heaven exists and you were to, enter the pearly gates, what's the one thing that either you would like to say to God, or that you would like to hear God say to you?
I mean, I feel like I should have like a cool greeting in mind, but I don't really.
Or like a really cool handshake.
Yeah, like something like that. Like something you'd see in like Family Guy, or I don't know. But no, for me, what would I like to say to God? To God, I think I'd just have loads of questions. It would literally be like questions upon questions, like, what is this? What is the meaning of that? Blah, blah, blah. Why do we need to suffer so much?
Yeah, what the fuck, man? I think that'd be the first thing for me. I'd just kick him in the nuts and be like, what the fuck have you been doing, you lazy ass git?
You fucked us. But no, life is full of joy as well, and lovely stuff, kind of, sometimes. But I think if he was talking to me, I like to hear him say, like, something affirmative, like, you made it, you can relax now, it's time to have like endless fun with no consequences. And I always imagined it to look like a movie scene, like something like, like the end of the Truman Show.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, okay,
take
the show's over,
scenery away, and then
something like that. I'd want it to be something extraordinary, because I can't have just lived like this whole life for it to be something mundane and just really disappointing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you?
What I said earlier, I think for me it'd just be like, I just have a few things to ask him, and just be like, what the fuck have you been doing up here?
Really?
Sitting on your ass. Which is, but it probably comes back to the fact that, I'm an atheist, so this is a different approach.
I'd like to think though towards the end, I'd like to think that we have some kind of explanation, or like a movie where things are explained and there's a conclusion and like a moral, and then they're like, oh well, they explain everything that's happened in your life, and they're like, okay, well, this is basically what happened. That would be great, like an explanation to everything that's been left unanswered. I'd want that, a movie of my life.
What would be great to see is that if you arrive at the pearly gates, and God would be like, all those people that were really horrible to you, and all the horrible people just over history, this is what they're doing now, and they'd be like suffering in hell and being tormented, being like bombed to death over and over again, and then they come to life again, and then they'd be bombed to death again, and then come to, like, that would be so satisfying, because that's one of the, like, I don't believe in heaven or hell, but when I see people just being dicks and just like looking at history books, like, I do wish that there is hell so they can pay for their sins, because I do to a certain extent believe that karma is a bitch, so you get what you give, But sometimes you don't. Sometimes
Yeah,
you're
that's
just
true,
lucky
that's
and
true.
you just, you're able to be a
Skip
dick.
through that
and then,
karma.
Yeah, so I like to know that people who've done evil at some point in the hereafter.
That would be very
Yeah.
satisfying to watch, definitely.
That would-
Especially people who have been mean to you.
Yeah. That'd be so nice. And you get like every other day you can go down to hell and like, do a bit of torturing yourself. That'd be quite nice.
Jesus Christ, who are you?
All
Oh
right.
God.
What's the thing that most people get wrong about when they hear that you have a Muslim dad?
Oh God. Well, it has to be the fact that my dad is like a dictator. Like he literally like
You're not allowed to go
locks
out.
me up.
Don't look.
Yeah,
don't
like
look at boys.
the misconception is that my dad is like really strict and that he locks me in a basement and he doesn't let me out. But literally, like my parents are so far
chill.
from that.
Yeah.
I don't really get that many people that are curious about me being like mixed race. I'm always the one curious about other mixes just because I'm like, oh wow, someone else is going through the same shit as me.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
ask.
yeah,
And I ask those the questions. But I don't really get that many people that are like curious. Some Sudanese people are and Italian people are. Because they're probably like, oh, I wonder, they wonder what it would be like for them to get into an interracial relationship that's similar. That's pretty much the main thing about my dad being like super strict. And my mum cooking lots of pasta. But yeah, stupid stereotypes.
That's hilarious. Yeah, like, it's the same for me that you just get like these silly assumptions about sort of like arranged marriage and that I'm going to get married off. Like when I was young, and when you're like 12, 13, you're not really educated about these things, and you don't really know much about other cultures that isn't yours. So you'd have a lot of sort of white kids be like, "Oh, are you gonna get married off when you're 16?" Well, I remember going to Sri Lanka when I was a kid. They're like, "Oh, are you gonna get married off?" I was like, "No, you fucker! I'm just going to fucking visit my family, you nitwit."
Did that stuff upset you as a young kid?
It made me mad more than sort of like me being sad about it. It was just like, why? It was also that sort of wishing, why can't I just be white? Because it'd be so unproblematic. Just going through life, like people don't assume things about you. Because when you're brown and living in a predominantly white environment, white society, people just, they're quick to judge you, and they're quick to sort of, they think they know what you are and who you are and what you're struggling with. So often you just find yourself not making an impression, but just eradicating the impression that they already have that is false. So yeah, when I was like a teenager, there were quite often I just wished that I was white because life would be so much easier because I'd be like a white slate, literally a white slate, that I could write on rather than that people have written and I have to erase. But yeah, I think arranged marriage was always sort of the biggest sort of assumption that people made, that I'm going to get married off and there's going to be dowry and my dad's going to get sheep in exchange for me. Like, what is my dad going to do with fucking sheep?
In Germany, like
He's just walking down the street, just like walking a sheep.
Imagine. It is really, really stupid. Like I got it when I went to Sudan, so a lot of people were like, oh, you're gonna get trafficked and they're gonna sell your organs and you're gonna get married off. And I was like, fucking hell. Like, Sudan is probably one of the most peaceful places I've been to. Like, honestly, there was a civil war, but there's literally no signs of it now.
That's not on your front door.
No, not in Khartoum, no. So it's just stupid. And now I just I kind of laugh about it because I'm like, you fucking stupid idiot.
Alrighty, my last question. I actually changed the question because this just popped up in my head. So here we go. If you can't answer it, then I'm just going to go back to the other one. If you could, this is again if you could swap lives, what TV show would you like to live in?
Oh my god, this is such an amazing question just because I'm such a TV head. It has to be, oh god, it would change every day. Oh god, no, but that's a good one. No, it's not. It's awful because they have awful, unhealthy, toxic relationships that I never want to be in them. But so I would have to say Rick and Morty. It would have to be an animation, just because it's, oh my god. So do you watch it?
No, if you recommend it to me, I still haven't gotten around watching it.
So it's basically about this boy and his granddad, and they go on these like crazy adventures into different dimensions, and like literally every single episode is like something that fucks with your head, because it makes you think, bloody hell, like this is our future technology wise, and like if you believe in aliens and all of that, you're like, bloody hell, this could actually happen. And yeah, and they have lots of fun, and then they always end up coming back like barely alive, but just like having the craziest experiences. And I'm like, yeah, I need some fun in my life. I need some of that. But it's cute. It's a really nice cartoon because it shows like different dynamics of like family relationships and love and caring for each other amongst the craziness. But yeah, that's me. What about you?
There be so many as well.
Yeah,
but the one
loads.
that popped to my mind for some reason, also because we're sort of talking about university life, I think for me it'd be Community.
I still haven't watched it with Donald Glover.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because there's that sense of you have to. Because obviously, when you go to university, there's that pressure of you have to do well and you have to study and revise, and and there's these group of people that initially came together to do exactly that, to revise and to practice their Spanish. Excuse me, but it just seems. Do they just have this amazingly close sort of family? And it reminds me sort of my university, yes, where I was lucky enough to have something similar to that. So yeah, I just like to be sort of would love to live in a world where I just don't have to worry about grades. I don't have to, because it is community college, for fuck's sake, and they take sort of like the silliest classes like pottering and stuff, and I get to meet fucking Donald Glover. I would so nail him down, like, oh my god.
Oh my god. Wouldn't it be amazing to have some kind of contraption that we can, like Mike TV from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where you can literally just kind of like
jump into the TV.
Jump into a TV show and just be part of it. That would be amazing.
That would be. We planned for this to be like a 30-minute one, but we're like we have
at like an hour and 8 minutes.
Well, I think it's time to wrap it up. So,
it is.
Thanks for sticking with us for more than, anticipated. But thank you nevertheless.
Yeah, guys, thanks for listening.
If you want to get in touch with us. If you want to, if you have any suggestion, any comments, any critique, feel to email us at mostmosaic@gmail.com.
Or you can tweet us at most_mosaic.
Oui.
Or if you want to ask us anything, any additional questions, let us know as well. We'll be open to answering them, of course. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And tune in next week when we'll have another very interesting intellectual topic to discuss. But yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.